Alright y'all, I wanted to get in here and maybe look at how to create this little fly that I made for this 5-star rating. So if you guys want to go check out the other videos showing how I set up this file, they exist. I'll try to link to them as well. But we're just going to focus on the fly today. Consider supporting the channel by downloading one of my fonts below, either the free one or the paid one. Okay, let's get going. Let's just start fresh, shall we? And I'll just do kind of a new concept here that allows me to, create whatever the heck I want. Okay, so maybe we have, I don't know, a piece of fruit or something that gets grosser and grosser and grosser as the flies are added to it, maybe. So, yeah, let's grab a thing and we can adjust it. So, I think if I click on it, if I get into the path options here to the top left, I can adjust stuff and it'll say edit vertices here in the top right corner. And then it'll give me a little warning, but I'm going to go ahead and convert that so I can make my watermelon. So I'll delete this. Whoops. I'll bring it in, I guess. And bring another one in. And maybe I'll see if I can delete this guy. Perfect. So there's my watermelon. And I can drag it up in here to the middle. Then maybe I can kind of click off of it and do like a copy paste over here at the top right. Copy and paste. And then the second one I can probably just scale down. And I'd love to center this. So let me undo what I did. And under the ellipse, I'll hit the Y key, which is the freeze and unfreeze tool. Hit Y again. And let's go ahead and Command D is how I duplicated that. And then I should be able to shrink this down and maybe just start coloring some stuff. So let's see what we can do for a watermelon here. So yeah, I might mess with these colors later, but I probably need a dark green for the rind. And then I'll need like a pink for in here, and I may add more colors later, but I'll just get us, this should get us started. Ooh, that's very neon. Yeah, ooh, I kind of like the pink red. Okay, and I don't know, to make this thing pop off, I'll grab the background here and we'll slap this over to, I don't know, something sunny. So a little off yellow, okay? I may come back here later and add in other details like the seeds, but this should get us starting on our fly, right? So let's try our fly next. On the other one, I just had something simple. And so I just went and just drew a simple circle, and I'll do the same thing here. And then maybe this is my, I don't know, maybe we can get a little more detail on this one. So if this is my head of my fly, then maybe I can color that black, and then I can draw maybe the eyeball next. And I'll copy, again, Command D, and I'll get the other eye and throw this to the back. And I really should be labeling as I go. So this is the head, this is the left eye, right eye, like so, okay? My custom shape was my, this is my watermelon, and then I had a rind as well. And I could probably group these as my watermelon. And I'll finish naming as I go. And I'll just copy and paste again, drag this guy back, and that can be his kind of body. And I can kind of decide how big I want him to be from here, but I think pretty close to happy with this guy. I'm trying to figure out how to make it look more like an eyeball. Let's see. I'm not sure how close we're really going to look at this guy. So I'll copy and paste maybe one more time and give him his full whatever. So there's my fly. And then let's grab my pen tool and let's go ahead and do the wings as well. So I'm probably just going to click once probably there, and then I'm going to click and drag up high and click back home for the wing. And because I want them to be fairly similar, I'll go ahead and grab what I just drew. Again, whack Y for freezing my transformation. And I've got to find where my, oh, it looks like because I drew it the way I did, it put the anchor point in the right place. So I'll hit Y again and duplicate this wing again and bring it over here. And let's get some rotation on it and send it to the back. Okay, so I think I'm pretty happy with my bug. Let's go ahead and throw some color into this, maybe some blue. You guys can mess also with transparency if that interests you. But I'm just going to grab something that will show up but not be too overly offensive. Rad. Okay. So if you guys want to add legs here, you can. If you guys want to, add little pinchers in his mouth, even this might help. If I go and grab all these things and just move them down a little bit, you kind of feel like it feels like he's hanging down a little bit. Almost feels a little more ant-like, and I kind of like that, so I'll keep that as well. Okay. So yeah, I think that's good enough. I want to make sure I know that this is my left wing, and this guy is my right wing. Oh man, that sounds political. Okay, and then I'm just going to take everything here, and again, Command G, just to group everything together, and call this Mr. Fly. But yeah, I think I'll just have a path that I want this guy to fly in, and maybe it crosses itself, and maybe it loop-de-loops over here, and maybe it comes back home, and maybe that's enough for this guy. So I probably will add multiples here eventually, but yeah, for my first one, maybe a figure eight's just plenty. It's not a perfect figure eight. I could make it a perfect figure eight, but I think I like the asymmetry just a little bit. So a big loop and a small loop, I think would be kind of interesting. So now this shape or this path is going to be the path that this guy flies through. So over here on the right hand side, I can probably kill its fill because all I really need is that shape for him to fly. Over the top left, I'll grab Mr. Fly, and then over under his constraints, I'm going to add, what is it called? It's a little bit off the screen here. It's right below it says follow path. No, it's on screen. There we go. Follow path. And then there's going to be some controls here, and it's going to ask me what path I want to follow. So I'll go ahead and click the target and pick this path that we just drew, or I can pick it up at the top. But you see he already kind of falls right into place where I want him. I'm not sure what's happening with this layout stuff, so I'm going to hit undo and undo. Let's try that one more time. So follow path, target, and let's grab the path this time. Okay, I'm not sure what happened that time, but this time it worked just fine. Okay, so with that said, Mr. Fly now, we can go to our settings again, and there's this distance setting that's a little bit behind my stuff, but you'll see my fly can now work his magic and fly basically right along the path. Okay, now there's this option to orient him, and we have to just decide what we want to do. If I don't orient him along the path, you'll see that I have a little bit more control, with him kind of coming up and down, so I want him to flip his wings around, but I will have to flip his body around. So either way, it just depends on what you want to do. So if I have it auto-oriented and he turns upside down, it just means that I have to flip my wings over. Potentially, and I guess my other things too, because I didn't make them symmetrical. If I have this off, it just means I have to move his head to the left when he goes this way and his back to the right as he turns around. And those are just animation things I need to kind of figure out as he moves around the fruit here. Okay, so that's basics of kind of getting this thing going and started. All right, up here in the top right corner, I'm going to jump over to my Animate from Design to Animate now. When I hit in the bottom corner, when I hit my follow stuff, I'm going to be in timeline 1. And I can then click things like distance, depending on where I want him to start. So I think when he's, I don't know, let's see what 0 looks like. It's kind of cool to have him come in from the side, but I think I can have a transition state to help me with that. So, but I'm okay with him just popping into existence at 0. And you'll see because I was scrubbing that, I get this diamond down here that already says that we're listening as far as keyframes go. And let's go ahead and name this bug1 or something like that. And knowing that I might need to come back here and later and kind of zero some of this stuff out. But yeah, so what do we want him to do? Let's see what happens if we go all the way to 100% on his rotation. So that's back here. I just went all the way to the back of the timeline. So I moved my playhead all the way to the end, typed in 100%. Let's hit play. And it's probably, I'm going to swap this over to loop. It's probably too fast, right? I mean, it kind of feels buggy, but maybe too quick. So here at the top of my timeline, I can type in a new number here. So duration, we'll set this to 2 instead. Double the time here that this takes. And I'll open up the timeline here and move my my keyframe all the way back down to 2 seconds. And let's see if that feels better. So that feels a little more manageable for me as far as this fly goes. Okay. So yeah, he's feeling a little large to me. So I think I am going to shrink him down just a bit. It's always safer to go back to your design tab to do that. And I'll just bring this guy down, maybe even by half. So he feels better. And then when I jump back to my Animate tab, he feels a lot better to me, yeah, in general. Okay. So yeah, from here I can just kind of start animating things like his his wings flittering and his head moving around. So let's do that next. So at the risk of being too obvious, he'll probably need to go forward here is how I see him doing, how I see him flying. He'll go forward, then when he gets to here, he'll start turning around, and then he'll go backward and vice versa. So I think I might just kind of have it as a loop there. So in order to do that, you just need to set up where his all of his stuff is, right? So let's go inside of Mr. Fly. And I'm just going to start setting some keyframes. So his left wing, I want to set up his rotation on that. I don't think I'll need to move it around. I think that his middle body is going to stay pretty well put. His eye is going to move, although it's going to move with his head. So let's go ahead and find out where his head is. So again, I should be naming things, but this is his body. This is his rumpus. And then there's his head, and then we have 2 eyes here. So let's grab all this stuff and group that, Command G, and this is going to be his head. All right, so wing, okay, that's still intact. Body, rumpus, and then his head is still on top of everything. Cool. So his head can just move back and forth, I believe. I guess there is maybe a problem with his eyes not coming forward, but I'm hoping no one notices. He's a tiny little guy, isn't he? And if it is a problem, I'll just rearrange stuff inside of there. But I will need the position on his head. I don't think I'm going to need Y, but I'm going to go ahead and hit it just in case, so I'm not annoyed later if I need to. The rumpus also has to move. His wings both need to rotate, but they probably don't need to move other than rotation in the way I'm assuming, right? Then at the end, he's also going to have all these things marked, right? So I'll go ahead and go up and mark the exact same things for all these. Head, the wing, right? Assuming that they're all going to start and end at 0 so it can loop nicely. Okay. Now the wings are going to be a separate thing, but the head in this case needs to shift to the other side of the body. So right now the group is off again, so I'm going to whack that Y key. Let's get this anchor point somewhere a little bit more better. And what I should do is do this back at the start so I'm not affecting new keyframes. Let's bring this back and center it. And if we're doing it all correct, you'll see because these keyframes are all off, I'm just going to delete this keyframe. And I'll set it up again anew with the new freeze transformations. Let's go check the rumpus as well. Okay, for whatever reason, I think that new group I made was why that got all off. But now it is fixed. I'm feeling like these other ones need marked as well. Head. I don't really need all of these, but we're doing them anyway. All right, so yeah, like I said, here in the middle, let's hit Y to get out of freeze mode. Let's grab our head again, and let's move the head over to where the rumpus is. And then the rumpus is going to go to where the head is. So it feels like he's kind of turning around. Now he definitely has his eyeball issues here. And so, whoops, I'm moving stuff all around here. All right, and so I think what I'm going to do is move the eyes just onto the top of the head, just because it's a constraint that I don't love. But since I've already marked these as movable, I can just reposition these eyes so they're kind of moving around the head, okay? Let's go back to the beginning, though, and see how that affected them. I don't think it's a problem. I could probably move this other eye a little bit further forward. So, yeah, he feels a little more bug-eyed. And I want to make sure that that's the exact same, so I'm going to just copy and paste that position. Okay, so let's see where we're at on this guy turning around. Okay, so he's kind of, feels like he's sort of orbiting this thing. If I wanted to, I could have him, instead of, kind of constantly moving, I could kind of bring him back to where he's facing this way the whole time. So let's show you that. So if I brought this all the way back here, he would face forward most of the time. Oops, I can't do the Mr. Fly, but everything else. If I move everything else but the rotation keyframe forward, he can come forward, and then he can turn here. And then, let's see. And then this, we need to hold these keyframes out until he turns on this other side. So I think if I just copy and paste these keyframes and move them down, and again, copy and paste these keyframes, you should then turn around at this side too. Let's see how that's looking. Kind of hard to see all of it, but I think that is working pretty good now. He kind of has, he's a little faster on the right-hand side for whatever reason, so maybe I'll bring this back, give him a little more time to turn around on the far side. Cool, so now I just need to kind of do a wiggle on the wings to make him look like he's flapping, and I think we're gonna get pretty close here. Oh, I kind of figure out the cadence of how much I want him flapping, and he's moving pretty fast, but I think I can fake it moving pretty slow. So I'm going to try like a -20 here on the downstroke, and then on the upstroke for 30 seconds, maybe a +20, and just see if that loop can help me. So if you see my keyframes here at the bottom, now I have to probably start at -20 also to make the loop. But now that I have it going from positive to -20, I should be able to copy and paste, and paste at each of those junctures, and I should get a wing that's doing something. Is it even working? So why didn't it work? -20. Oh, looks like my +20 never got put in there. So again, let's take these, copy, paste, and paste. Let's see if that was working now. Yeah, it's moving. It's just not fast enough for me. So let's try bring it down to 10 frames and see if we like it any better. So that means it's going to end here at a +20. Okay, and I'll delete all these extra frames here. And we'll paste and paste and paste. Okay. So I can tell they're moving, but they're just still a little too slow. So anyways, this is how I do it. So I'm now going to half that again to something like 15. So now they're going twice as fast as when I started. Again, I'm going to paste all the way down just so I can get that feel for that. I'm sure there's ways to use like sine and cosine math in these. I know in After Effects there is, but this should get me pretty close. So I can tell now that it's moving, and it's moving fast enough for me. It doesn't moving fast enough for a fly wing, but that is fine. Okay. Now over here, this wing is already at -20. The right wing is. Is that true? No, it's more like 60. Okay, so 60 is not my up and it's almost my down. So let's go to 80 maybe for my down. And your numbers may be different than mine, but let's try 50 for my up. And then, so yeah, it'll go 80 to 20. And that's just because I made a copy of it, 50, okay. And this is what I'll copy paste here. Paste, paste, paste. Okay, so now I've got my fly and he is working. All right, from here, since I'm just making this up as I go, I think I'm gonna make this into like a counting something game, maybe. So maybe I'll start with seeds on the watermelon, and as I click the watermelon, the seeds will rearrange and there'll be a 1, and then I'll click it again and there'll be 2, and it'll be 2 flies, and then 3 will be 3 flies, and I don't know, I'll probably be done by then. Okay, so I'm gonna yeah, kind of jump in and kind of repeat the process I did there. I'm gonna add first, draw some seeds, which should be pretty easy, and don't think I'll show you, but yeah, let's see what I can come up with. All right, so here's the final little test that I came up with. And you'll see it just basically a clickable little thing, 1, 2, 3, with bugs flying everywhere, okay? Just in case you care, this is my state machine that I set up. And basically I set each bug up and kind of added a bug each time. So I've got bug 0, I've got bug 1, I've got bug 2, and I've got bug 3. They're all kind of adding to each other. And then on top of that, I have this watermelon jump that gets triggered just once when I click. And then my state machine looks like so. And yeah, basically I have a couple layers here, right? So this one controls my bugs. So you can kind of see when I hit play and I click once, it goes to bug 1, 2 to bug 2, 3 to bug 3. And every time I'm clicking, I'm just basically firing another trigger. Okay, and there's really only one trigger, which is the entire screen. Okay, the next layer on top of that, though, is my watermelon 1, 2, and 3, which is doing the same things on the same triggers. It goes from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3, allowing you to see all those. And then finally, I have a little bit of a hop here that also happens every time it triggers. Now, it's not without a glitch. If I click too fast, it gets a little weird. But for our purposes, that's a different video, right? But yeah, if you guys want to know more about loopable animations, or if you guys want me to break this down, please just let me know in the comments. Cool, y'all. Let's get out of here.